Rom, you need to chill. You need to just legitimately chill. This line is so freaking savage. And just like, my boy Subaru does not deserve this. Like, out of everything the boy has been through, out of everything from season 1 to the light novels to the web novels, he does not deserve that type of treatment. To be said that he just fails at life is just so meta. It's so hilarious. I can't stop just being amused by it. So let's kind of dive into it and ruin the joke. When she's like, you fell at life, it's a multi-in, like, joke, because we know for a fact that she always does that to pick on Subaru. It's a constant thing. But we, as the audience, we know that Subaru, he technically fails at life because he dies a lot. So, seeing that joke is basically picking on him for the sheer fact that he constantly dies, comes back, he fails at life itself. So, wow, this show really knows how to use the comedy of the characters. And that's what I think this show really has going for it, is that all 4 of these series that make up, Isekai Quartet is actually something that you normally wouldn't think would mesh well, but it does, because most of these series are very mature, but have a good level of comedy. Even though Overlord is a serious series, it has some good comedy, especially with Ainz and him interacting with his fellow NPCs, his children, and trying to kind of bullcrap his way to the finish line. And we also have the stuff with ReZero and how there is some really funny interactions, and Subaru also has some really great lines to, and how he's just all, chipper and all that, even though he goes through a hell of a lot. And then we also have the stuff with Tanya. There's some great comedy in her squad. So, I mean, these series do have good comedy, even if they're very serious. And I love how the writers of this show are really taking that into account, all of the comedy, the different forms of comedy that these shows use, and apply it to this series. However, that is still the only thing that this show has done so far. In fact, it's really only been doing the things that we know from these shows, like just seeing Ainz, interact with Demi, and just like, that thing, and trying to get Demi to explain himself or whatever he's thinking. It's a very Ainz thing, and it's enjoyable, don't get me wrong, I'm always enjoying that type of stuff, but it's something that we've seen time and time again, and it's not really utilizing what Isekai Quartet is about. It's about a crossover, and it's supposed to have things that we don't normally see. We should have interactions with characters that we always wanted to see. And obviously this series is for fan service. It is. That's what it fundamentally is about. It's just fan service for the fans of all 4 series. And I appreciate that a lot, but I do want more. I may not want like a major story going on, because, this is just a funny little short series, but I do want some very risky interactions with characters. Like just seeing Subaru interacting with Tanya, and like him actually dying using his little trope of his death, return by death. It feels like the series is more of just the characters doing what we've seen from the respective series, instead of really seeing them interact with each other. There's only a few little exceptions, like seeing Albedo and Rim, connect in this episode, which unexpected friendship, by the way, like that put a smile on my face. And I took a moment to think about it, and I was like, now that I really realize or think about this, they're very similar. Even though Albedo is obviously a little bit more yandere, she is kind of similar to Rim. They're both demons. They are both demons, and they both have a love for someone, and they openly admit it. And so seeing how they interacted, I'm like, wow, I never knew how similar they were in their own way, and how much I needed that interaction with them in this episode. I really love the interaction where Aqua walks up to Tanya. It's like, Goddess blesses you. Goddess blesses you. Like, that's so freaking great, because it's just like, Aqua is so dumb. And how Tanya just completely overlooks the fact that she basically said, I'm a goddess. To look at Ainz and think he's being X is so amusing, which, by the way, I do believe before everything is said and done, Tanya and Ainz are going to be on the same level in terms of thinking. Like, we know for a fact that Tanya and Ainz could get along. It's just, the question is, how is that going to happen? So, one last thing I do want to say before I wrap up this, because it is anime short and there isn't, a lot of stuff to really dive into, I want to talk about the teachers and their supposed power. So, it's revealed twice, actually, that a teacher is able to use a power of persuasion to force an individual, one of our main cast members, to follow their instructions. And I don't really know if the teacher is actually aware of this or not, or if all the teachers have it. And if that is the case, then there is a bigger story going on here, and that there might be a plot to where our characters might try to go back to their represented series. And if this really is the case, and we are really getting an actual plot, then there is a possibility we could get a season 2 of this series, and potentially more series added in, and maybe one day a legitimate, anime adaptation of this that's like a serious anime. Possible. But yeah, it's a good episode. It's funny, has some great character interactions, there's some savage lines for certain characters, like what my poor Subaru had to deal with. But that's about it. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.